Well, good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the 2024 Hays County Livestock Show, Swine Show. If you would, please, it's 9 o'clock. Let's remove cover. We're going to pray. Heavenly Father, we appreciate this day. We thank you for letting us have another gracious day on your beautiful creation. We thank you for allowing us to bring all these young people together to exhibit the livestock that you've helped them raise. We thank you, Lord, for the blessed rain that you've given us over the last few days, and we appreciate everyone being here. We want to thank you for helping them get here. We want to thank you for watching over them on their return trip home. In your Son's name, Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen. Now, if you would please remain standing. All right, this will be second call for Class 1 OPB breeding gilts. Second call, Class 1 OPB breeding gilts. Excuse me. We have 5 gilts in this class. 5 gilts in this class. This will be first call for Class 1 Duroc gilts. First call, Class 1 Duroc gilts.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, a pleasure to be back with you again to sort through the hogs and work with the kids. Got an easy winner with the young lady over there in the corner in the black coat. That's by far the one that's the stoutest and squarest in terms of her build, still pieces together, a nice look in terms of her profile and silhouette. And she's also the one that's the best moving one of the group, so a real logical place to start. The decision between 2 and 3 is closer. Going to use the young lady in the pink to come second. I think there's a little more natural width in that particular individual. Definitely square and rounder in terms of rib shape. I'd like to see her move better off either end of her skeleton. That's the advantage the young lady's in third has. She's freer, she's more mobile, she's more agile. There's just not as much to her, and she's a little lower in terms of her front end. Young lady here's got a good looking one. In terms of length, extension, tall and elevated up front. Too tight in terms of rib, not enough power. Gentleman that closes out the class, very similar to the one right in front of me. In terms of the fact that that one's got some extra extension and length, that one is the one that struggles the most in terms of structural integrity. One of the ones that's just the tightest in the way that one's made. Give them a nice round of applause, please.
This will be second call for Class 1 Duroc gilts. And be first call for Class 1 Hampshire gilts. Please bring your Hampshire gilt to the holding pen. Results of Class 1 OPBs. 5th place, Bobby Schubert. 4th place, Sloan Cobb. 3rd place, Bobby Schubert. 2nd place, Lila Lyons. And your class winner, Charlie Cobb from Wimberley 4-H.
Young man single entry Duroc gilt is one that's sure attractive in terms of her presence, really tall fronted and shouldered, impeccable in terms of her lines. She's one that we'd stouten and widen her up from the ground up, but still one very, very competitive, whether it's class of 1 or 10. Give him a nice round of applause.
Your class champion in box is Jackson Cronmiller from Wimberley FFA. This will be second call for your Hampshire gilt. First call, Class 1. Last call, Class 1 Hampshire gilts coming to the ring. Second call, Class 1 Crossbreed gilts. We have 9 gilts in the Crossbreed gilt class. 9 gilts in the Crossbreds. Please bring them to the holding pen.
Only Hampshire kids out here, and young man brings this one that's very muscular and shapely, dense in terms of her body and square in terms of her build, and still one that's got a show ring look. Ideally, she needs to flex and give more appropriately out of her rear hock, but a very competitive individual. Give him a good round of applause.
All right, Trace Jansen is your class winner with their Hamp gilt. Now we will have our Class 1 Crossbred gilts brought into the ring. We have 9 in the class. Our Grand Champion Breeding Gilt buckle is sponsored today by James and Janet Ward. And our Reserve Champion Breeding Gilt buckle today is sponsored by Donna Wallace. Please thank those sponsors whenever you see them and tell them we appreciate their sponsorship to provide these buckles for these young exhibitors. Please bring your first and second place gilts out of Class 1 OPBs back to the holding pen.
Well, obviously, the biggest class that we've seen and a lot of differences in terms of type and kind. The easy thing to do is to find the solid black one up on top. She's the solid one of the group, impeccable in terms of her build and structure, yet still got enough to her in terms of proportion, mass, and dimension, and then still one that of this group of contemporaries, by far the one that I approve of in terms of look and show ring presence. So just a real easy place for me to start. After that, it can go a lot of different ways depending on what you want to prioritize. I'm going to use the young lady's blue bud in second. I think there's more natural width and dimension. I particularly think she's rounder and stouter in terms of her body, rib, and cage. She's definitely more mobile than the one that comes in third. She's too frail and refined in terms of her bone, foot, and feature. The bottom side of her doesn't match the top side in terms of her proportions, but I still like her mobility. I like her stoutness. We've got a better looking one that comes in three because she's more extended. She's leveler in terms of her lines. She's more closed in terms of her rib cage. She's more narrow in terms of her range of motion. She doesn't get out and go quite as well. The 1 and 4 is really massive in terms of her center body width. Got some broodiness to her look. She's entirely too round out of her hip. She's got to be assembled different there. If she was and more level and lengthier, then she could get out and go with more flex and give. We got a big stout one coming in 5. Really good in terms of dimensions and proportions. Little past her prime in terms of freshness. Not quite as nice and tidy to look at. Give them a good round of applause.
All right, results from Class 1 Crossbreed Gilts. 9th place, Bobby Schubert. 8th place, Gunnar Terrell. 7th place, Elizabeth Jansen. 6th place, Macy Terrell. 5th place, Jax Myers. 4th place, Michaela Verver. 3rd place, Bobby Schubert. 2nd place, Megan Swintek. And your class winner, Cooper Partain. We will now have our Grand Champion Drive, Grand Champion Gilt Drive. We will have first, second place OPBs. First place OPB goes to Charlie Cobb. Second place OPB is exhibited by Lines. The Duroc Gilt is exhibited by Jackson Cronmiller. The Hampshire Gilt exhibited by Trace Jansen. And out of your crossbred gilts, we've got Cooper Partain in first place and Megan Swintek second place.
Well, put your hands together for the breeding gilt exhibitors. They've done a nice job this morning. Good set of them. There's been some quality throughout, and not to take away from all of them out here because I like the Hamp and I like the Duroc, but this is a 2-horse race, and it's between the Crossbred and the OPB, and they're very different in terms of their type and kind. And so depending on what your preferences are, you can justify either of them either way. I like the one that's just a little better looking, a little sexier in terms of front end, one that's still got enough power and enough width. Obviously not as stout as the other one. Young man right here has the champion. Congratulations to you. The blue vet that was reserved in the crossbred class, we talked about her. Fundamentally, she's built well in terms of her mobility. She's got some muscle and power. She's a little frail and refined in terms of her feature. That's not the tallest fronted one we've seen, but the rest of her is really good. She's going to be reserved. Congratulations to you.
This will be first call for Class 1 light OPBs in the market division. First call, Class 1 market lightweight OPBs. Your grand champion breeding gilt goes to Cooper Partain out of the crossbred division. And your reserve grand champion. Congratulations to those exhibitors. Now we will move into our market class. We have seven pigs in this first class of light OPBs. This will be first call for class 2 light OPBs, dark OPBs, I'm sorry. Dark OPBs, class 2. This will be second call for class 2, lightweight dark OPBs. Second call, class 2, dark OPBs, lightweights. Please bring them to the holding pen.
Well, y'all aren't taking it easy on me here in this first class because, again, there is so many differences out here. And while they all have quality, there's something that's got to be modified and changed in all of them to make them more ideal. The one I land on is the guy here in the purple stripes. That one is very, very stout, burly, and open up. The gilt is one that's still very on point in terms of presentation, in terms of her skin and hair. I think she's got enough look and enough presence. She's not the best looking one, don't get me wrong. And she's one that needs to be more mobile because she's too tight off of her rear too, and she needs to get out and go better for me. But in this particular grouping, she's the one that I'm the most comfortable with on top. Young lady in the white sweater is going to come second. I like that one's extension from the blades forward. I think there's enough muscle mass and dimension. Obviously not as stout as the one that wins. My problem with this one is this one's got to be modified and changed greatly. In the hip structure, just entirely too short and round in terms of that hip. It's evident on the stop, and when we get them in motion, just got to be better in terms of structural build. The one that I probably like the very best in terms of quality is in 3, because that's the good-looking, very sound one. In terms of a market show, young lady, that one's just not far enough along today. But I recognize that that's the best built, best moving, good-looking one. I just wish that one was a little further in terms of a terminal endpoint. Then we've got one in 4 that's stout, rugged, and opened up. That one's got to be fresher and better looking. The one in 5 is one that's long-sided and got some added muscle. That one wants to sway and settle in terms of top line. When we get that one in going, that one's the most troubled off either end of the spectrum in terms of skeletal extension and integrity. Give them a nice round of applause. Good set, lots of differences.
This will be last call for your lightweight dark OPBs, class 2, lightweight dark OPBs, last call. Be first call for your medium weight dark OPBs, class 3. Please bring them to the holding pen. First call. Results of class 1 light OPBs. 7th place went to Cliff Lineweber from Wimberley 4-H. 6th place went to Gavin Nyland from Dripping Springs FFA. 5th place was William Gaston from Buda 4-H. 4th place, Bobby Schubert, West San Marcos 4-H. 3rd place, Emery Robertson, Wimberley FFA. 2nd place went to Megan Swintek, Wimberley FFA. And your class winner out of class 1 light OPBs was Clayton Doyle from Dripping Springs 4-H. Congratulations. Your champion light OPB belt buckle was sponsored today by Jeff and Cindy Bodie. Your reserve champion lightweight OPB buckle was presented and sponsored by Dylan and Shauna Doyle. Thank those sponsors very much. We appreciate your help. This will be second call for medium weight dark OPBs. Second call, medium weight dark OPBs. Please bring your middleweight dark OPBs to the holding pen. Your middleweight dark OPBs, class 3. Please bring them to the holding pen.
But we got another real interesting class, and the top two polar opposite in terms of type and kind. Ideally, we'd like to mesh the things that we like about both of them into one critter, but we don't have that option out here. Young lady and the cheetah's going to win for me. Her advantages start at the ground. She's easily the best built, best structured one. That bear really gets out and goes the way he should. And actually, when you get on top of them, there is more topside power and mass in that individual than the one that comes second. Now, that one's a little more jammed together in terms of look. Not nearly as cool and attractive through the front 1/3 of that one's body, but has a significant advantage in terms of roundness of rib, muscle shape up high, and most importantly, movement. Young lady that comes in second, that gilt is one that you really like the length. You like the extension, and she's stouter. In terms of her bone foot features, she's better. In terms of her leg, she's one that's too tight in terms of her rib and her lower extremities. She really wants to get in there in terms of her range of motion. And then one that I think just doesn't balance quite as nicely as you study her, because she wants to break right there behind her blade, but still a very nice one. We've got a stout, rugged, very heavy muscled one. Gentleman's in third, the bear. It's just not good enough looking in terms of presence, not fresh enough out here, and wants to lock, get tied up in terms of rear hog. Young lady in the loud colored shirt that comes in four. There's some muscle, there's some shape in that individual. Study that one off the front end of that one's skeleton. That one's too upright and stilty. And the young lady in the loud pink shirt that comes in five, really one, again, that has some natural width and dimension. That one in terms of structural integrity falls out of the five for me. Give them a nice round of applause.
This will be last call. Last call for class 3 medium weight dark OPBs. Last call. It will be first call for class 4 light heavy dark OPBs. Light heavy dark OPBs. Results of Class 2 lightweight dark OPBs. 7th place, Emmeline Nyland, Dripping Springs FFA. 6th place, Kaylee Terrell, Dripping Springs FFA. 5th place, Haley Bassford, Dripping Springs FFA. 4th place, Kaylor Gardner, Dripping Springs FFA. 3rd place, Cole Bilote, Wimberley FFA. 2nd place, Era Cope, Buda 4-H. And your class winner out of Class Lightweight Dark OPBs, Everly Way, Dripping Springs 4-H. Congratulations. Class 3 middleweight dark OPBs are in the ring. We have 9 entries in this class. This will be second call for Class 4 light heavy dark OPBs. Please make your way to the holding pen. This will be second call for Class 4 light heavyweight dark OPBs. Second call, Class 4 light heavyweight dark OPBs. Please make your way to the holding pen.
Another class that there's a lot of give and take out here, and we got a real tiny showman trying to direct this pig out here in first. And I'll be honest with you, I never really got to see her at her best because it's just hard for him to wrangle her around, but I still think that that's the best built one. When she'll get out and go, I think she's a little better in terms of her structure. She's nice enough in terms of her look. She's not the most powerful one in terms of her shape, but I do think she's the most solid. I just wish she'd cooperate more for the young man out here, but that's not entirely his fault. Young man in second's doing a heck of a good job driving that one out here. Really expertise there, and that one is powerful, and he's stout, really burly in terms of foot and bone, not nearly as attractive in terms of his silhouette, and one that I don't think is quite as good in terms of spine. The one in third, if I could change out the rear tires on that young man over there, that one would win the class for me, because that one is much like the combination of the two that stand above him. Got some look and attractiveness like the one that wins, got some extra power and shape like the one that comes in second, and hind legs just not good enough for me out here in this particular class. And we've got 1 and 4, really long and level in terms of design, gets a little tied up on either end of the structure, not quite fluid or comfortable enough out here. The 1 and 5's got a lot of muscle and a lot of shape. You can see the problem in that one, just entirely too tight and tense in the top side of that spine. Another good class, give them a round of applause.
All right, this will be last call. Last call for Class 4, light heavyweight, dark OPBs. Last call. This will be first call for Class 5, heavyweight, dark OPBs. First call, Class 5, heavyweight, dark OPBs. Make your way to the holding pen. Results of Class 3, medium weight, dark OPBs. 9th place, Luke Matos, Dripping Springs 4H. 8th place, Logan Matos, Dripping Springs 4H. 7th place, Cord Randig, Wimberley 4H. 6th place, Bracken Schrader, Dripping Springs FFA. 5th place, Emmeline Nyland, Dripping Springs FFA. 4th place, Rhett Gray, Dripping Springs FFA. 3rd place, Danny Matthews, Wimberley 4H. 2nd place, Rhett Gray, Dripping Springs FFA. And your class winner from Buda 4H, Walker Miles. Congratulations, exhibitors. We have 10 entries in the light heavy dark OPB class. 10 exhibitors in light heavy OPB, dark OPBs. This will be second call, class 5, heavyweight dark OPBs. Second call, please bring them to the holding pen.
Well, I think we've got a really good top pair up here, and the young lady in the blue sweater is going to win. That one's advantages are that one is just excellent. In terms of muscle shape, easily the one that's more dynamic. In terms of top side power and squareness from behind, one that still is one that I appreciate with all that mass and power. That one's ability to get out and go and move it quite well. Attractive enough, not as sleek and sharp in terms of feature up front as needs to be, but still the one that I prefer. The better looking one of the pair stands in second. That one is taller and more elevated up front, definitely sharper in terms of feature, not the natural width and dimension. And while that's a sound one, young lady, that one doesn't get out and give and flex quite as appropriately off the front end of that skeleton as the one that wins. So a very good top pair, some differences in between them. I like the length, I like the extension, the freshness, and the build of the one that comes in 3. There's not near enough shape, width, power, and dimension for that one to elevate up into the top pair. The predominantly white one that stands in 4. Big back, thick-ended, too round in terms of hip, too round in terms of shoulder, wants to be too tight in terms of lower rib. Gentleman in 5, a long level design one, got some natural width and dimension, particularly up high. That one struggles and is too straight and stilty and shoulder and knee down to the surface. Another good class, give them a round of applause.
Okay, this will be last call for class 5 heavyweight dark OPBs. Last call. We have 9 entries in this last class of OPB, dark OPBs. Results of class 4 light heavy dark OPBs. 10th place, Gus Gray from Dripping Springs FFA. 9th place, Carson Bois from Dripping Springs at 4-H Club. 8th place, Caitlin Miller, Buda 4-H. 7th place, Ellie Trujillo, Johnson FFA. 6th place, Clayton Doyle, Dripping Springs 4-H. 5th place, Tommy Darity, Buda 4-H. 4th place, Adeline Fee, Dripping Springs 4-H. 3rd place, Michaela Verver from Buda 4-H. 2nd place, Alexander Brooklyn. Brooklyn Alexander, how about that? Brooklyn Alexander from Buda 4-H. Sorry about that, Brooklyn. And your class winner out of class 4 light heavy dark OPBs is Sybil Shumway, Dripping Springs 4-H. Congratulations, exhibitors. We'll see y'all back in the dark OPB champion drive shortly. Please bring your first and second place pigs back out of Class 2, lightweight dark OPBs, Class 3, middleweight dark OPBs, and Class 4, light heavy dark OPBs.
Well, I think without a doubt, the most powerful class in terms of quality and depth that we've seen in this particular breed. Young man in the pink came in here early, and I knew we had a player because that one's just really, really good, in my opinion. One that is so well built, so well structured, comfortable, flexible out here, got a lot of power and a lot of dimension, very burly, and yet still some added show ring look and appeal from the side. So, gentlemen, I like yours very well. Young lady, there's nothing wrong with your hog there. Maybe a little tight clipped for my taste, but that's one's attractive in terms of front end, still good enough in terms of proportion and dimension, and a very sound one out here. There's just not as much extra stuff or exaggeration in those attributes as the one that wins the class, but a very good top pair. Gentleman's in third. I told him he's had one in every class out here today. I don't want his feed bill, but he does a good job. That's a big back, thick-ended square one that just doesn't get out with the comfort level of the top two. We've got one in four that is really good in terms of muscle and power. Study the young ladies from behind. Gets too far outside of herself in terms of the way that she goes. Gentleman in the blue vest in five, one that's got some look and attractiveness. You can see the problem right there. He's just way too far outside of himself up front, too straight and stilty and too low fronted, but another nice one. Really good top pair. Give them a nice round of applause.
All right, we will now have the champion drive for the dark OPBs, but this will be first call, Class 6, lightweight Durocs. First call, lightweight Durocs. Out of Class 2, we have Everly Shumway winning that class. Out of Class 3, we have Walker Miles winning that class. Out of Class 4, we have Sybil Shumway winning that class. And out of Class 5, we have Laramie Doyle winning that class. Results of Class 5. 9th place went to Trent Henry from Dripping Springs FFA. 8th place, Clara Weber, Wimberley 4-H. 7th place, Carson Boas, Dripping Springs 4-H. 6th place, Caitlin Miller, Buda 4-H. 5th place, Emery Huckabee, Buda 4-H. 4th place, Madison Alexander, Buda 4-H. 3rd place, Laramie Doyle, Dripping Springs 4-H. 2nd place, Kennedy Cudney. And your class winner, Laramie Doyle.
Well, y'all been awfully quiet as a crowd to this point. And again, Dark OPBs have been good. Give these exhibitors a nice round of applause. Y'all can do better than that. Clap for these kids. Jesus. Whew. Gonna be a long day if y'all don't get more excited than that. I'm gonna be real honest with you. This is a good show, and it started out well, but it just continued to build in terms of quality, and it's a lights out decision. Young man in the pink's the champion. Congratulations to him. I knew the decision for reserve would be close, and it is. And not to take anything away from the ones out of Class 1 and 2. Those are nice class winners that deserve to be out here. But the heat of the battle, once again, comes down to the Class 3 winner and the one that was second to the champion. The Class 3 winner is so sound and good structured, yet of the pair, I think there's a little more added shape and particularly freshness in that individual. The one that comes second to the champion is sharper in terms of feature, better in terms of look, still very good in terms of muscularity, tighter in terms of rib, doesn't transition as effectively out of blade and into body wall. Young lady in the Navy will be reserved. Congratulations to her.
All right, this will be last call for your Class 6 lightweight Durocs. We have 5 entries in that lightweight Duroc class. Your champion, Dark OPB, goes to Laramie Doyle from Dripping Springs 4-H. And your reserve champion, Dark OPB, goes to Sybil Shumway from Dripping Springs 4-H. Congratulations, exhibitors. We'll see you back in the grand drive. This will be first call, Class 7 Middleweight Durocs. First call, Class 7 Middleweight Durocs. Please bring your Durocs to the holding pen. This will be second call, Class 7 Middleweight Durocs. Second call.
Well, another very interesting class to start off the Red Hog show, and the top two are polar opposite in terms of type and kind. The one that's more my kind is the young lady that wins. That's the one that I prefer in terms of look, balance, show ring orientation, and appeal, and yet one that I think is definitely sounder structured as we get them out and move. You've got to make the decision, is there enough to that one in terms of mass, dimension, and muscle? For me, in this particular group of contemporaries, there is. Now, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that's going to be the stoutest one in any lightweight Duroc class, because they're not, and she needs to be more powerful. She's still the one that I prefer. If you just want to muscle them up, you're going to go to the Hawson 2, because that's the Arnold Schwarzenegger one out here. Stout, ripped up, burly, massive, all of those things are good. That one's just not very attractive in terms of look, presence, lines, too jammed together, too round, and one that locks up in terms of rear hog. But if you just want to throw that one up there because he is the monster in terms of mass, I get it, and you can justify it. That one's simply not my kind. The one in third is more like the one that wins. In terms of balance and presence, that gilt gets too far outside of herself, of her skeleton from behind. She's too frail. In terms of her bone, foot, and feature, we've got one in four that's a little better structured, not quite as attractive in terms of line, symmetry, and balance. Gentleman's Bear that closes out the class. Big tops, long-sided one. That's the frailest in terms of bone and foot, and also the one that struggles the most in terms of range of motion. Good class, lots of differences. Give them a nice round of applause.
This will be last call for Class 7 Middleweight Durocs. Last call, Class 7 Middleweight Durocs. We have 5 in the class. This will be first call for Class 8 Heavyweight Durocs. First call, Class 8 Heavyweight Durocs. Please bring your Durocs to the holding pen. Results of lightweight Durocs, Class 6. 5th place, Jackson Cronmiller, Wimberley FFA. 4th place, Caitlin Larson, Wimberley FFA. 3rd place, Everly Shumway, Dripping Springs 4H. 2nd place, Elizabeth Jansen from Buda 4H. And your class winner, Emery Robertson from Wimberley FFA. Congratulations, exhibitors. Our champion Darko PB buckle today was presented and sponsored by JP Jansen Crop Insurance. And the reserve champion Darko PB buckle was sponsored by the Gardner family. Please thank those people if you see them, and we appreciate their sponsorship in providing these buckles.
Well, without a doubt, the most logical class that we've had so far in terms of how they line out. Little boy in blues just got a very solid one up front. Sound structured, good looking, heavy muscle, just not a whole lot of things that need to be modified or corrected on that individual. So congratulations to him. Young lady in the cheetah that's going to come in second, big backed, massive, dense, opened up individual. Study the hip and hind leg. It's not near good enough to run in this particular grouping up top, but still one that I prefer in terms of body build over the young lady that comes in 3. That one is attractive and long-sided. Got to be more massive and dense in terms of rib, body, and cage to elevate up. Gentleman in 4 has got one that has more body mass, has some muscle, plainer in terms of look, lower in terms of front end. The one in 5 is a little longer, more extended. That's the lightest muscled and the frailest, narrowest one of the class. Give them a nice round of applause, please.
Will be last call for your heavyweight Durocs, Class 8. Class 8 heavyweight Durocs, last call. We have 5 entries in the heavyweight Duroc class. At the conclusion of the heavyweight class, we will go to the champion Duroc drive. Results of Class 7 middleweight Durocs. 5th place, Rhett Gray, Dripping Springs FFA. 4th place, Cole Belote, Wimberley FFA. 3rd place, Haley Bassford, Dripping Springs FFA. 2nd place, Everly Shumway, Dripping Springs 4H. And your class winner out of Class 7 middleweight Durocs is Cooper Partain from Buda 4H. Congratulations, exhibitors.
Young man in the vest in the lavender shirt is going to win this particular group, and it starts with the fact that that's easily the heaviest muscled one that's still very correct in terms of body build, puts together some look and some appeal in terms of a silhouette. I won't lie to you and tell you that one's perfect structured, because it's not. It needs to get better in terms of range of motion, come inside himself more, but in this particular class, the one to win. This is a good looking, fresh, long-sided one that there's not enough power, there's not enough substance. That one gets too tight and tense on the top side of that spine, but I still think that one's built a little better and a little fresher than the one that comes in 3 that has more natural shape up high, one that's stouter in terms of feature. You can study that one in terms of lines and balance, doesn't want to hold together or be as composed in terms of look, not quite as fresh out here. Young ladies in 4 is the longest sided one of the group, too narrow in terms of chest, too narrow in terms of rib shape. The one in 5's got a lot of power and a lot of mass. That one is just way not getting out and going out here. I don't know if there's an injury or what, but that one is awfully stiff on all 4 corners. Just got to move better to move up higher. Give them a nice round of applause.
Okay, results from Class 8 market Dura heavyweight Durocs. 5th place, Sawyer Doyle, Dripping Springs 4H. 4th place, Kaylor Gardner, Dripping Springs FFA. 3rd place, Wyatt Lorenzen, Dripping Springs 4H. 2nd place, Stockton Young, Wimberley 4H. And your class winner from Dripping Springs 4-H, Grayson Bloss. We will now have Class 6 winner, Emery Robertson. Class 7 winner, Cooper Partain. And Class 8 winner, Grayson Bloss, back in the ring for the champion Duroc Drive. This will be first call for your Class 9 lightweight hamps. First call, Class 9 lightweight hamps.
Well, let's reward the Duroc exhibitors with a nice round of applause. Another high-quality set from start to finish. I think it's a very easy decision. There's one out here that encompasses the parts and pieces that I admire in the other two in the ring. Little Boy in Blue has the champion. Congratulations to him. Well, this is a decision that I knew would be close, and depending on what you want to emphasize or prioritize, you can justify any of the three. To be reserved, you just have to talk it right. The lightweight's the best looking, the freshest, the best moving. Got to decide if there's enough to that one in terms of muscle mass. And to mention, young lady that came second to the champion, we could leave that one stopped. That one would probably go on and be reserved because I like the look, I like the freshness. That one's spine and hip is just not good enough for me personally. The one that comes out of the heavyweight class has got a lot of muscle, a lot of power, not quite as good in terms of look up front, wants to get outside himself from behind. There may not be the biggest one, but that's the second best one in your reserve. Congratulations to you.
Okay, this will be last call for your Class 9 lightweight Hampshires. Last call, Class 9 lightweight hamps.
How many hands left?
For 7.
7?
Dane from Beautiful 4-H. Your result goes to Everly Shumway, Dripping Springs 4-H. This will be first call, Class 10 Middleweight Hampshires. First call, Class 10 Middleweight Hampshires. Lightweight hamps are in the ring, Class 9. There are 7. Caitlin Partain, we need you in the ring. Caitlin Partain, Beautiful 4-H. This will be second call, class 10, middleweight Hamps. Second call, class 10, middleweight Hamps. Our champion Duroc buckle today was sponsored by James and Peggy Jansen. Our reserve champion Duroc buckle was sponsored by Hayden Lugo. And thank you very much for these sponsors to get these people, these young people, these belt buckles. It sure helps the show go along. We thank you very much for your sponsorship.
I think we've got a really good top trio out here, and there's some differences between them. For me, the one that puts together the most uniqueness in terms of parts and pieces is the young man in the black. And it starts at the ground. That is the best built, the best moving, most comfortable one that has hit the gate all day. And yet he's still very big boned in terms of his feature. He's still uplifted in terms of his chest floor, really extended from his blades forward. Good enough in terms of his body shape. Could he be rounder in his lower rib? Yes, he could. Is he big enough backed? Absolutely, I think he is. Get on top of him. There's more to him than what you think. From behind, he needs to be stouter, and I realize that, and I'd like to square him up and give him more muscle shape from behind, but still the one that I prefer. Little guy in two's got one that in terms of from behind probably does have more natural shape and dimension, equally as good or even better in terms of body and rib. That one is not as big backed, that one is not as mobile, and that one is trailer in terms of bone and foot, and I don't think quite as cool in terms of general look. Young lady, you did a good job with one that fought you a lot out here. That's the heaviest muscled one of the top trio, really stout and square. The problem with that one is watch that one go just entirely too tight off either end of the skeleton to run up in the top two. Young lady in the white's got a muscular, shapely option that's too short and compact in terms of spine, kind, and build. 1 and 5 is longer and more extended. That one's got some muscle mass and dimension. In terms of structure, not quite good enough to raise up any higher. Really good pair. Give them a nice round of applause.
This will be last call, class 10 middleweight Hamps. Coming in the ring, should be 7 in the class. Results from class 9. Lightweight Hamps. 7th place, Taylor Clark, Buda 4H. 6th place, Bobby Schubert, West San Marcos 4H. 5th place, Caitlin Partain, Buda 4H. 4th place, Megan Schwintek, Wimberley 4H, Wimberley FFA. 3rd place, Phoebe Underdown, Buda 4H. 2nd place, Holden Young, Wimberley 4H. And your class winner, Trace Jansen from Buda 4H. Congratulations. Will be first call, class 11, heavyweight Hampshires. First call, class 11, heavyweight Hampshires.
Real easy class winner here, and the young lady in the hot pink shirt. It starts with the fact that that one is tremendously stout, very square and dense and burly in terms of build, but still retains a very show ring oriented, cool featured look, and easily the soundest one out here. So a gilt that just puts a lot of the right things together. Young man in blue runs the second closest to her in terms of being good structured, long-sided, having an appropriate amount of muscle, too low in terms of front end, not nearly the wow factor of the one that wins. Young lady that comes in threes got one that's very stout, opened up and square. That one's too frail and refined in terms of bone and foot to match the top side power and mass. Doesn't get out and go quite as well. This one's fairly good in terms of length and levelness. Got to be built wider in terms of rib, stoutened up at the ground. And the 1 and 5, it's got some muscle and shape, too round in terms of hip, too tight in terms of body build. Give them a nice round of applause.
This will be last call, Class 11 Heavyweight Hamps. Last call, Class 11 Heavyweight Hamps. There are 6 entries in this class. Results of Class 10 Middleweight Hamps. 7th place, Jasmine Hernandez, Dripping Springs FFA. 6th place, Annabelle Pence, Wimberley FFA. 5th place, Seth Meyer, Buda 4H. 4th place, Finley Nielsen, Buda 4H. 3rd place, Aniston Hill, Buda 4H. 2nd place goes to Wyatt Lorenzen, Dripping Springs 4H. And your class winner is Miss Lila Lyons from Buda 4H. Congratulations, exhibitors.
Well, really a very good top trio out here, and while they're all shaped just a little differently, there's a lot of positive feature in every single one. Young lady and the cheetah is going to win for me. That one's the most unique of the top three, and there is no doubt she is built like a Kardashian from behind. That is the stoutest thing that's come in here by some margin in terms of muscle mass, dimension, yet one that's just ginormous in terms of bone, foot, and feature. I think probably one of the neatest things about her is that with all that mass and muscle, she still handles it fairly well in terms of her running gear. Is she a little tight and tense on the top side of her spine? Yes, she is. Does her head and neck set need to be more appropriate and correct? Sure, it could be. But to be that stout, that powerful, and still handle it that well in terms of getting out and going, very, very hard to do. So while she's not perfect, she's the unique one, and she's the one for me. The one that comes in second is the most like her in terms of the fact that she is really stout-legged critter that's got some muscle and got some mass, definitely more powerful in terms of shape than the one that comes in third. She's a little more jammed together. As you study her in terms of her head and neck set, even more so than the one that wins. She's flatter in terms of her rib. It isn't quite as unique as the class winner, but a very nice one. The one in third is the best looking. She's the tallest fronted and shouldered. She's the longest in terms of her side. The problem with her is they don't have to be the heaviest muscle for me to win, but they got to have more muscle and shape than what she has. In this particular grouping, got to be stouter at the ground in terms of feature. She does that, she wins because she is really cool, very good looking, very, very sound. Then we've got one in four, the crimp-eared one, really stout and powerful in terms of top shape, lower in terms of front end, not as correct in terms of running gear. The one in five is good in terms of body build and width. We've got to lean and tone that one up. Young lady in the pink and six, long, level, extended. The one that's got the most problems moving structurally, also the flattest made. Really good class, nice top end. Give them a good round of applause.
This will be first call, Class 12, Lightweight Yorks. First call, Class 12, Lightweight Yorks. This time we will have our champion Hampshire Drive. Out of Class 1, we have Class 9, we have Trace Jansen from Buda 4-H. Out of Class 10, we have Lila Lyons from Buda 4-H. And out of Class 11, we have Everly Shumway from Dripping Springs 4-H. Results of Class 11. 6th place, Ella Sandoval, Wimberley 4-H. 5th place, Easton Darity, Buda 4-H. 4th place, Parker Bois, Dripping Springs 4-H. 3rd place, Madison Nielsen, Buda 4-H. 2nd place, Trace Jansen, Buda 4-H. And your class winner was Everly Shumway from Dripping Springs 4-H. This will be second call for your Lightweight Yorks, Class 12, Lightweight Yorks.
Well, I think without question, the deepest breed, the highest quality breed, the most unique breed so far has been the Hampshires. And again, y'all haven't been very cooperative on the clapping. Put your hands together for these kids. Better. Y'all can still improve. There's a whole lot of y'all here, and you can clap for every kid. It just don't have to be yours that you're clapping for, okay? Just letting y'all know that. This is really, really good, and there's some differences out here, and I think it's close enough that I need to talk all three of them to let you kind of see where my head space is at. I absolutely love this one out of Class 1. I'm not going to lie to you. That thing is so unique in terms of being so good built, so stout-legged, one that's still got power, mass, and muscle, and uniquely the best-looking one in terms of feature. I love all of those things about that little one right there. Is that one ready today in terms of a market show? Probably not, but that is the best one, in my opinion. And so that makes it very hard as a judge. You weigh things out. What do you do in that instance right there? I guess we'll find out in a minute. The one that comes out of 2, I think, is solid. One that I really like a lot of things about. Heavy muscled, good enough in terms of look. I think appropriate in terms of structure. There may be not a wow piece or puzzle to that one like the other ones out here, but not a great deal that you need to change or modify in that individual. We've got another unique one out of the heavyweight class. You can't ask them to be any burlier, stout, bigger legged, all of those things. Still puts together some look in terms of structure, in terms of her spine, in terms of her rear hock. I don't think she's as good as the next 2. And so for someone that really emphasizes structural integrity and correctness in all species, that's a little problematic to bite off on that one, even though that one has as many unique pieces as any of them. So very, very close call. The solid one and the one that's ready, the young lady in the middle, that will be the champion. Talked about the gentleman that was second in that class, a good move and long spine one, not as extra, not as exaggerated. There is too much cool stuff in that little bear to leave him out. Congratulations to you.
Okay, this will be last call. Last call for Class 12 Lightweight Yorkshires. Last call, Class 12 Lightweight Yorkshires. We have 7 in the class. Your champion, Hampshire, goes to Lila Lyons from Buda 4-H. And the reserve champion, Hamp, goes to Trace Jansen from Buda 4-H. Congratulations, exhibitors. We'll see you back in the Grand Drive. This will be first call for Class 13 Heavyweight Yorks. First call, Class 13 Heavyweight Yorkshires. Our champion Hampshire buckle today was sponsored by James and Peggy Jansen. We appreciate their support immensely. The reserve champion Hampshire buckle was donated by the Willie Thomas Memorial Buyers Group. We thank them for their support. We appreciate all the help we can get on these buckles. Appreciate it.
an interesting way to start out the York show. I think there's some give and take on the top pair. Young lady in the pink's going to be victorious again because that one is so much more correct in terms of how that one handles its front end structure, shoulder, knee, and down to the surface. Much more mobile and agile, and yet the best looking one in terms of lines and balance. Does that one need to be powered up? Absolutely. Does that one need more rib shape? Sure. But in terms of just structure and look, that's the one I prefer. The one in second has more dimension, has more width, has more shape. I prefer that one in terms of rib. Study that one up front. You can see why that one's getting second. Just wants to kick, not comfortable out here, just not getting out and going like that one needs to advance up any higher. We've got one in three that's built a lot like the one that comes second in terms of natural width and dimension. Too tight and rigid in terms of rear hog, plainer in terms of muscle shape. We've got one in four that's very long and extended, little drier in terms of rib, not quite as good in terms of muscularity. The one in five is stouter, more powerful in terms of just natural dimension. That one wants to break and separate in terms of top line, get rounder in terms of hip, more compact in terms of design. Give them a nice round of applause.
This will be last call for Class 13 Heavyweight Yorks. Last call, Class 13 Heavyweight Yorks. We have 7 in the class. Results of Class 12 Lightweight Yorks. 7th place, Paisley Miles, Buda 4H. 6th place, Shay Nauman, Johnson FFA. 5th place, Kelsey Tovar, Dripping Springs FFA. 4th place, Colton Bryan, Dripping Springs FFA. 3rd place, Hondo Young, Wimberley 4H. 2nd place, Charles Latham, Dripping Springs FFA. And your class winner out of Lightweight Yorks is Miss Lila Lyons from Buda 4H. Congratulations. This will be first call, Class 14, lightweight, light crosses. First call, Class 14, lightweight, light crosses.
Well, as we move into the second class of Lorks, I think we have an exceptional individual to lead off the class. And everything that I admire or look for in terms of stock, regardless of species, is evident in that mare there. He is impeccably sound, comfortable, and agile. He is stout, burly, and opened up, and yet he's fresh, has a really good show ring look and appeal to him. That's just a very, very good one to initiate this class. Young man in two with the one that wants to stick its tongue out at me. That one is longer in terms of spine, equally as impressive in terms of shape, not nearly as unique or composed in terms of keeping the lines and balance together, not as good in terms of running gear. We've got one in three that's got some muscle, got some mass. That one is entirely too straight up front. Watch that one go, just never gets out in terms of being comfortable or wants to give and flex up front. The one in four is one that I appreciate, the denseness, the body shape. That one's got to be fresher and better moving. Finally, the one in five has got a lot of length and extension. That's the lightest muscled and the plainest looking one. Give them a nice round of applause.
Results of Class 13, Heavy Yorks. 7th place, Sloan Studebaker, Buda 4H. 6th place, Anniston Hill, Buda 4H. 5th place, Jackson Silcox, Dripping Springs FFA. 4th place, Bobby Schubert, West San Marcos 4H. 3rd place, Jet Lines, Buda 4H. 2nd place, Laramie Doyle, Dripping Springs 4H. And your class winner, Huck Thomas from Buda 4H. Coming back in the ring now, we have Class 12 winner, Lila Lyons, and Class 13 winner, Huck Thomas, driving for the champion, Yorkshire.
Well, again, let's give these Yorkshire exhibitors a big round of applause. Another quality breed, lots of good ones out here. Absolutely no-brainer decision that the heavyweight is the champion. Congratulations to him. For reserve, I think it gets exceptionally close, and there's some similarities in between them in terms of the fact that they're good-looking, show ring-oriented ones. The differences are one is a little sounder, a little more mobile, but probably not stout enough, not opened up enough. The other one is more powerful, has more shape and dimension by a good margin. I'd like to see that one a little better in terms of hip, make that one a little more correct up front. But there's more power in this one, young man. You need to be reserved. Congratulations to you.
Okay, this is last call, Class 14, lightweight crosses. York out of Class 13, Thomas from Buda 4H. Your reserve champion, Yorkshire, is out of 13, Laramie Doyle, Dripping Springs 4H. Congratulations. This will be first call, Class 15, heavy light crosses. Heavy light crosses. First call.
How are you, Brad? I'm good. Doing okay?
This will be second call for Class 15 heavyweight light crosses. Second call, Class 15 heavyweight light crosses.
With a really close top pair up here, and they both have some real positive pieces, then something that we need to change. Gentleman that wins, even though he's the lower shouldered one, he's a more attractive one in terms of his head and neck, sharper in terms of his feature, more chiseled under his jaw. One that I think muscle shape and dimension is relatively close within the pair. That's the bigger bone featured one of the group. Problem is that one's not fresh enough out here. I'll just be honest, that one's got to be fresher in terms of look, skin, and hair, and that one's just too low set in terms of shoulder, but that one does have better look. The one that comes in second is a little more mobile, not as powerful as the one that wins, one that's just a little chunkier. As you study that one up front, one that is fresher in terms of skin and hair, little more mobile, plainer in terms of shape, and just doesn't give you that look and attractiveness as the class winner. The one in third is overwhelmingly massive in terms of just product, meat animal shape. That one wants to get underneath himself in terms of hind leg too much, not good enough at the ground in terms of running gear. Young ladies in four is awfully good looking and attractive. Got to have more body and shape in that particular individual. Got to make that one better and more operate better out of the hip and hog. One in five is one that you like in terms of length and extension. That one is too tight in terms of rib shape, not good enough in terms of body build. The one in six, very long-sided, the flattest, lightest muscled one, but one that's attractive. Really close pair. Give them a nice round of applause.
This will be last call for Class 15 heavyweight light crosses. There are 5 in this class. Results from Class 14 lightweight light crosses. 6th place, Aniston Hill, Buda 4H. 5th place, Roman Cope, Buda 4H. 4th place, Adeline Fee, Dripping Springs 4H. 3rd place, Parker Bois, Dripping Springs 4H. 2nd place, Gavin Nyland, Dripping Springs FFA. And your class winner out of Class 14 lightweight crosses, light crosses, is Emery Huckabee from Buda 4H. Congratulations. This will be first call First call, class 16, lightweight dark crossbreds. First call, class 16, lightweight crosses.
Well, as we move out here into this class, never a question that I was going to start with the young man in the red over there. That's the sound functional one in terms of build, long in terms of side, and have some muscle. To be honest with you, like the last class, that one needs to be fresher in terms of presentation, skin and hair. But out here in this particular group, the easy one to start with. I think the closer decision is between 2 and 3. The one that comes in second is the fresh, good-looking one. That's got some muscle. That one's spine and hip are not good enough in terms of how that one's built or assembled, but I still think just a little better in terms of general quality than the one that comes in third. That's got some muscle, some shape, and some width. Really wants to play out down low in terms of running gear. One that though I appreciate the overall mass. We've got 1 and 4 that you like the body build and shape, little plainer in terms of look, tighter in terms of structure. The 1 and 5 is one that, again, got some muscle and some dimension, but that's the shortest one in terms of segments, the most compact and round in terms of design. Another good class. Give them a round of applause.
Results from class 15 light or heavyweight light crosses. 5th place, Seth Meyer, Buda 4H. 4th place, Tommy Darity, Buda 4H. 3rd place, Gilbert Sandoval, Wimberley 4H. 2nd place, Hank Peruka, Buda 4H. And your class winner from Buda 4H, Clayton Werchin. Coming back in the ring now, we have a class 14 winner, Emery Huckabee, and Clayton Werchin out of class 15 for your champion, light cross champion. This will be second call for class 16 lightweight dark crosses.
We'll give the light cross exhibitors a nice round of applause. Not as many in terms of numbers, and maybe not that one that hit me between the eyes in terms of I'm the one to win, but still some very good ones out here. A lot of quality, and the exhibitors have worked hard. In terms of a champion decision, easily the closest one that I faced throughout the day, and there's a great deal of differences in these two, and you can see it from outside of the ring. They are very different in terms of their build, and I'll be the first to tell you, they both need to be fresher, and that's my main problem with both of them. I want to see them fresher in terms of look. I want to see them fresher in terms of skin and hair, but they still have a lot of positive parts and pieces about them. The one out of the lightweight class is really heavy muscled, has the advantage in terms of shape, really stout in terms of bone, foot, and feature. We talked about that one in that particular class. Little lower in terms of front end assembly, wants to run downhill a shade in terms of elevation, and maybe not the overall length or extension of the one that comes out of 2. 1 and 2 is better in terms of elevation up front, longer in terms of side, leveler in terms of design. There's a lot of muscle and power in that particular individual. Problem is she's a little rounder in terms of her hip. She's definitely frailer in terms of her bone, foot, and feature. So depending on where you want to go, you want one that's stouter and bigger legged, you want one that's longer and a little better looking, you can justify it. Young man, you're the champion right here. Congratulations to you. One that comes in to compete for reserve. We talked about how that one was fresh, really good looking. The problem is structurally, that one's not good enough in terms of spine and hip. Lightweight will be reserved. Congratulations to him.
All right, this will be last call for Class 16 lightweight dark crosses. Last call, Class 16 lightweight dark crosses. We have 11 entries in this class. Your champion light cross goes to Clayton Werchin from Buda 4-H, and your reserve champion goes to Emery Huckabee from Buda 4-H. Congratulations, exhibitors. We'll see you back after a while. Our champion light cross belt buckle was sponsored today by Sunset Construction and Excavation. Our reserve champion light cross buckle was sponsored by Zellhart Cattle Company. Thank you very much, sponsors, for sponsoring those buckles for these young people. The champion Yorkshire buckle today was sponsored by AF Chewing. And the reserve champion Yorkshire buckle was sponsored by Alexander Home Team. Thank you to those sponsors for sponsoring those buckles. This will be first call for Class 17 dark crosses, light, medium, light, middleweight, dark crosses. Class 17, light, medium, dark crossbreds. This will be second call, class 17, light middleweight, dark crosses. Second call, class 17, light middleweight, dark crosses. Please bring them to the holding pen.
Well, a logical, legitimate, and easy find on the class winner here in terms of the Calico one. Obviously, that one takes the parts and pieces I admire of the next two and puts them into one package because a very solid individual. There's muscle mass, there's dimension, there's width, there's a sound structure, and there's still some look. So a very nice ways to start. Obviously, 2 and 3 are very polar opposite in terms of type and kind. Gentleman in the purple paisley has one that's more my type because that one is more attractive, better looking, longer sided, leveler, and one that's better going. Now that one's not nearly as stout and powerful as the one that wins or the one that's in third, but in this particular grouping, I think there's enough. Gonna let that one's build, elevate that one to second. The one in third is massive. Dense and burly, really appreciate those factors, and that particular individual gets awfully plain and short and up front, one that wants to get twisted out in terms of how that one goes off either end of the skeletal system, but still one with a lot of power and mass. Young ladies in fours, got a big back, nice looking up front, that awfully tight and restricted from behind, not good enough in terms of running gear, and just doesn't have the mass of the one right up above. Got a very fresh, good looking, long-sided one that ends up in 5, that in terms of body shape, mass, and maturity, just not there today. Give them a nice round of applause.
This will be last call for class 17, light, middleweight, dark crosses. Class 17. This will be first call for class 18, middleweight, dark crosses. First call, class 18, middleweight, dark crosses. From class 16, lightweight, dark crosses. 11th place, Easton Darity, Buda 4H. 10th place, Mathis Harness, Dripping Springs FFA. 9th place, Cody Larson, Wimberley FFA. 8th place, Kinsey Belotti, Wimberley 4H. 7th place, Kaylee Terrell, Dripping Springs FFA. 6th place, Bobby Schubert, West San Marcos 4H. 5th place, Kelsey Tovar, Dripping Springs FFA. 4th place, Annabelle Pence, Wimberley FFA. 3rd place, Gavin Nyland, Dripping Springs FFA. 2nd place, Jackson Cronmiller, Wimberley FFA. And your class winner from Buda 4H, Clayton Werchin. Congratulations, exhibitors. Class 17 is now in the ring and going in the ring. Class 18, please be making your way to the holding pen. This will be second call, Class 18, Middleweight Dark Crosses. Second call, Class 18, Middleweight Dark Crosses. Please make your way to the hold. This will be last call for Class 18 Middleweight Dark Crosses. Last call, Class 18.
In the battle of the pink shirts up here on top, the longer that we drive and the longer that we go, the bear is just the one that's more sustainable in terms of structural integrity. That's the stouter legged one that's more mobile, agile, and comfortable out here. There's more mass and dimension, not quite as neat and tidy or sharp in terms of look. That advantage goes to you, young man. The gilt's got a more attractive silhouette and presence. Watch her go from behind, though. She's just getting too locked up in that rear hock the longer that we stay out here and drive. We've got a sound, attractive, nice looking one in the blue butt bear that comes in 3, that there's just not enough mass and natural width and dimension in that individual to go up any higher. The black-headed one in 4 is really good in terms of body shape and build, gets too locked up and rigid. In terms of rear hock, the one that ended up 5, I like in terms of top side power and mass. Structurally and in terms of look and levelness, falls out, and that's extremely good top 5. Give them a nice round of applause.
Class 18 will be entering the ring at this time. We have 10 entries in that class. And this will be first call for Class 19 middle heavyweight dark crosses. Class 19 middleweight, middle heavies, dark crosses. Results of class 17, the light middleweights. 12th place, Cassidy Peel, Dripping Springs 4-H. 11th place, Chloe Street, Dripping Springs FFA. 10th place, Wyatt Gray, Dripping Springs FFA. 9th place, Taylor Clark, Buda 4-H. 8th place, Hudson Young, Wimberley 4-H. 7th place, Audrey Wilkes, Dripping Springs 4-H. 6th place, Kelsey Tovar, Dripping Springs FFA. 5th place, Elizabeth Jansen, Buda 4-H. 4th place, Jet Lines, Buda 4-H. 3rd place, Charles Latham from Dripping Springs FFA. 2nd place was Sawyer Doyle from Dripping Springs 4-H. And your class winner from Buda 4-H, Lila Lines. Congratulations. Class 18 is now in the ring. We have 10 entries in that class. This will be second call, class 19, medium heavy dark crosses. Second call, class 19, medium heavy dark crosses. This will be last call for class 19, medium heavy dark crosses. Last call, class 19, medium heavy dark crosses.
think a really competitive class all the way through, and the top three sorted out real easy for me in terms of those were the three that needed to come up on top. Within the trio, you can do some different things. I'm going to use the young lady that her shirt matches her pig, not because of that, but I think that one's the longer, more extended one of the pair that has a little more look, a little more presence up front. They both struggle in terms of their rear hock, and they've got to be more flexible. That one actually has more top side power and mass than the one that comes in second. When the young lady with the sparkly bow hit the gate early, I said, all right, here's our class winner, because that one is ripped up, shapely, still has some look, even though a little more compact in terms of skeletal length. That one's wanting to play out just a little bit in terms of mobility, lock and hopper extend in terms of rear hock, and compared to the one that wins, just not quite as sharp in terms of look. You want to use the beast in terms of power and muscle, that's the one in third, and I get it if that's what you do. That is the super stout, very opened up one that's just really, really struggling off either end of the skeletal system out here, and the one that has the least amount of look in terms of presence and keeping a composed look while that one goes. We've got 1 and 4 that's sound and functional, not enough power. The 1 and 5 has a great deal of shape. That one's too tight in terms of rib, too flat in terms of lower extremities, but a really good class, interesting top three. Give them a nice round of applause.
Class 19, medium heavy dark crosses will be entering the ring now. We have 11 in that class. This will be first call for class 20, light heavy dark crosses. First call, class 20, light heavy dark crosses. Results of class 18, middleweight dark crosses. 10th place, Diego Barreto, Dripping Springs FFA. 9th place, Finley White and Wimberley FFA. 8th place, Wyatt Lorenzen, Dripping Springs 4H. 7th place, Michaela Verver, Buda 4H. 6th place, Ezra Studebaker, Buda 4H. 5th place, Adeline Fee, Dripping Springs 4H. 4th place, Elizabeth Jansen, Buda 4H. 3rd place, Caitlin Partain, Buda 4H. 2nd place goes to Danica Mahalik, Wimberley FFA. And your class winner from Buda 4H, Brooklyn Alexander. Congratulations. Our judge today is Mr. Ryan Rash. Ryan is from Crockett, Texas, grew up showing every species of livestock. During his junior show career, he exhibited 13 grand or reserve grand champion steers at major livestock shows all over the United States. Ryan graduated from Texas A&M University and was a member of the national champion intercollegiate livestock judging team. During his collegiate judging careers, he was in the top 10 individuals and in the top 10 of oral reasons at every contest he entered, and was a high point individual at 5 contests. He is a co-star of the Beyond the Ring podcast, the executive director of the Beyond the Ring Junior Livestock Association, and he owns and operates SBCC, a cattle company and consulting firm. He and his family have a club calf operation as well as a purebred Charolais and Hereford operation. He has judged every species of livestock at shows from the local to major show level throughout the United States in 46 states, Canada, and Mexico. Let's put your hands together and welcome Mr. Ryan Rash for sorting our livestock today. Thank you, Mr. Rash. This will be second call for Class 20 light heavy dark crosses. Second call, Class 20 light heavy dark crosses.
I think we have a really dynamic top pair out in this particular grouping. And again, one up front, that one is really just my type and kind. Just watch him get out and go. He glides so effortlessly out here, yet he's elevated and escalated up front. Got a great show ring look to him. And much like the Reserve Ham that the boy drove earlier that I love, but this one is woofier, older, more mature, and has more to it. I think that one has really got a lot of things going and cranking in the right direction. Young lady, you didn't come here to be second, and I realize that. That's a powerful individual in terms of mass, muscle, dimension, one that still has some natural show ring look, not quite as extra in terms of the fact that I don't think there's as many unique features, and I know that one is not as good in terms of running gear or agility out here, but an outstanding one to stand second in a very tough class. Young lady in 3, that one's powerful, that one's stout, that one's muscular, not nearly as correct in terms of structural integrity as the top 2. The 1 and 4 has got a big old back in this individual here. Really good in terms of body density, too frail and refined in terms of bone, foot, and feature. Not as correct in terms of look. The 1 and 5 is long side, level design. That one is too frail in terms of bone and foot, one that's awkward in terms of proportions, just doesn't get out and go quite as well. Very good top pair. Give them a nice round of applause.
This will be last call for Class 20. Your light, heavy, dark crosses. We have 13 in this class. It will be first call for Class 21, medium, heavy, dark crosses. First call, Class 21, medium, heavy, dark crosses. Results of Class 19, your medium, heavy, dark crosses. 11th place, Brandy Carruthers, Wimberley FFA. 10th place, Gilbert Sandoval, Wimberley 4-H. 9th place, Sydney Hippolito, Dripping Springs FFA. 8th place, Gavin Nyland, Dripping Springs FFA. 7th place, Madison Nielsen, Buda 4-H. 6th place, Wyatt Lorenzen, Dripping Springs 4-H. 5th place, Stockton Young, Wimberley 4-H. 4th place, Jax Myers, Dripping Springs FFA. 3rd place, Charlie Cobb, Wimberley 4-H. 2nd place, Lila Lyons, Buda 4-H. And your class winner from Buda 4-H, Trace Jansen. Congratulations. This will be second call, class 21, medium heavy, dark crosses. Second call, class 21, medium heavy, dark crosses. Be bringing them to the holding pen. This will be last call, class 21, medium heavy dark crosses. Last call, class 21, medium heavy dark crosses. You should be in the holding pen.
Well, my mother tells me I'm entirely too honest, but it's worked for me thus far, so I guess I'm going to keep going. This is the class that I'm going to earn my paycheck throughout the day right here, because not saying there's not some quality, but there is every shape, size, color, and kind, and there is something that significantly has to be changed on every one of them. So there is no right or wrong answer in how this comes out. I'm going to use the young lady in the black shirt because of the top pair that I think are a little more mobile, a little more functional compared to the rest of them. That one has more length and extension, very ripped up and shapely, maybe too much, because that one's a little dry in terms of rib, tight in terms of body build, needs to be fuller and fresher out here, but still the one that I prefer. Young lady, you in second, you've got a very sound mobile one that's just a god-awful color, if we're just being real honest. He's not the prettiest one to look at in terms of his markings, but he's sound, he's very, very mobile, he's got some muscle and shape, he's just not nearly as long and extended, and again, the color is a little harder to get by. We could change out the tires on yours, bud, you would win the class. You've got the good-looking, powerful one. The longer that barrel drives, just gets tighter and tighter all the way through. Then we've got 1 and 4 over there that I like the center body with. I like the top side power from behind. That one gets flatter in terms of shape, bulkier up front in terms of his presence. Blade forward, so it throws off his bodies in proportions. Young lady in the green and white stripes in 5th. That's absolutely the stoutest, most powerful one. Also the one, in terms of structural build, has the most struggles of the top 5. Really interesting class, good kids. Give them a nice round of applause.
All right, we have class 21 ready to enter the ring. Your medium heavy dark crosses. This will be first call for your class 22 heavyweight crosses, dark crosses. Class 22 heavy dark crossbreds, first call. Results of class 20, your light heavy crossbreds. 12th place, William Zellhart, Wimberley 4H. I'm sorry, 13th is Emery Favors from Johnson FFA. 12th is William Zellhart from Wimberley 4H. 11th is Taylor Stanley from West San Marcos 4H. 10th place is Lawson Henry, Dripping Springs FFA. 9th place, Sloan Cobb, Wimberley 4H. 8th place, Finley Nielsen, Buda 4H. 7th place, Era Cope, Buda 4H. 6th place, William Zellhart, Wimberley 4H. 5th place, Michaela Verver, Buda 4H. 4th place, Melissa Jost, Dripping Springs FFA. 3rd place, Clayton Doyle, Dripping Springs 4H. 2nd place, Ella Sandoval from Wimberley 4H. And your class winner from Buda 4H, Madison Alexander. Congratulations, exhibitors. Class 21 is now in the ring, and there are 10 entries in this class. Please remember, at the conclusion of the show today, all breed champions must go to the vet clinic. All breed champions must go to the vet clinic at the conclusion of the show. This will be second call for Class 22 heavyweight dark crosses. Class 22 heavyweight dark crosses, second call. Please bring them to the holding pen. A reminder, the breed and reserve breed champions must go to the test pen at the vet clinic at the conclusion of the show, both the breed and the reserve breed champions. So please, once the show's over, take your pigs up to the test clinic. This will be last call, Class 22 heavyweight dark crosses. Last call, Class 22 heavyweight dark crosses. You should be in a holding pen.
Well, a much better class all the way through in terms of quality, much more logical in terms of how it sorts out. Young lady in the sparkly shirt out here of the top pair of very, very nice ones. That's the one that's significantly more stable on the front pastern, more extended in terms of look, lengths, lines, and silhouette, and still has an ample amount of muscle, proportions, and dimensions. Again, I'm not going to tell you that one wows you anywhere because he doesn't. But very, very solid and good in all the areas that matter. So an easy class winner. I like the one that comes in second because that one is stout, burly. There's even more dimension and more shape in the one that comes in second than the one that comes in one. And that one wants to get awfully soft up front in terms of how that one sets down at the surface. Doesn't have the length or squareness of the one that wins, but you did a good job, bub. That's a nice hog. Congratulations to you. Young man's been about in every single class that ends up in 3. Got the same type and kind. Fresh, attractive, got some muscle. This one's extra stout in terms of feature. They've all just got to be a little better structured for my type and kind, but still a very nice one that the young man has. Young lady in 4's got one that's fresh, good looking, really good in terms of muscle shape up high. Getting behind the calico, not quite a square in terms of build, wants to lock in terms of rear hog. Young lady that ends out the class, another heavy muscled, stout featured one in terms of mobility and comfortableness out here, wants to fall to the bottom of the sword of the 5. Give him a good round of applause.
All right, this is last call, class 22. We have 8 in this class, the heavyweight crosses. If you have a first or second place winner in a dark cross class, please be making your way to the holding pen for our champion dark cross drive. The results of class 21. 10th place, Riley De Leon, Wimberley FFA. 9th place, Levi Diaz, Buda 4-H. 8th place, Landry Gilbert, Dripping Springs FFA. 7th place, Rhett Gray, Dripping Springs FFA. 6th place, Lillian Sandoval, Wimberley 4-H. 5th place, Melissa Juiced, Dripping Springs FFA. 4th place, Lillian Sandoval, Wimberley 4-H. 3rd place, Clayton Doyle, Dripping Springs 4-H. 2nd place, Clayton Wilkes, Dripping Springs 4-H. And your class winner from Buda 4-H Club is Phoebe Underdown. Congratulations, exhibitors. We'll see you back in the champion drive. For the dark cross drive, we need out of class 16, Clayton Werchen and Jackson Cronmiller. Out of class 17, Lila Lyons and Sawyer Doyle. Out of class 18, Brooklyn Alexander, Danica Mahalik. Class 19, Trace Jansen and Lila Lyons. Class 20, Madison Clark and Ella Sandoval. And out of class 21, we need Phoebe Underdown and Clayton Wilkes back to the holding pen for the champion dark cross drive. Once again, all first and second place pigs out of the dark crossbred classes need to be making your way to the holding pen.
I think as we move into the last class, the dark crossbreds, the gentleman in the pink wins rather handily for me, because that one takes some of the parts and pieces that I admire of the ones that stand second and third, puts them into one package, got an added shot of look like the one that comes into, or excuse me, in second, and the one that's got some power and muscle like the one next, and yet one I still think is good enough in terms of running here. Not going to lie to you and tell you that that one's perfect. Needs to go differently out of hip and hock and down to the surface, but still the one that needs to come out here and win this class. We've got 1 and 2, got a lot of power, a lot of stoutness, really square and dense from behind. That gilt just doesn't get out and go as good as she needs to off either end of the skeletal system. She's not as attractive in terms of her presence, but she's fresher and has more power. Little guy in third's got a long-sided, nice looking, very flexible barrow. Appears to like maybe we held that one a little too long, doesn't have the body shape, isn't as fresh out here, doesn't have the muscle mass of the two up above. We've got 1 and 4 that's got a lot of muscle, a lot of power. The crim-beard one is one that just gets lower in terms of front end, straighter and more upright in terms of shoulder and knee, just doesn't get out and isn't comfortable at the way that one goes. Young ladies in 5, good looking, long level-sided, too flat and dry in terms of rib shape. Give them a nice round of applause.
Results from Class 22 heavyweight dark crosses. 8th place, Grayson Buis, Dripping Springs 4-H Club. 7th place, Danny Matthews, Wimberley 4-H. 6th place, Elizabeth Jansen, Buda 4-H. 5th place, Kennedy Cudney, Wimberley FFA. 4th place, Ezekiel Peruca, Buda 4-H. 3rd place, Huck Thomas, Buda 4-H. 2nd place, Sydney Hippolito, Dripping Springs FFA. And your class winner from Buda 4-H, Hunter Peruca. Congratulations, exhibitors. We will now be bringing our first place pigs back from the dark cross classes for the champion dark cross. We need Brooklyn Alexander and Madison Clark. Madison Alexander. Yes, it was. Class 16 is your first class of dark crosses. We have class 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. 7 classes. Should be 7 first place pigs up here to show. Our champion dark cross belt buckle today is sponsored in memory of Bill Onderlich, and the reserve champion dark cross buckle is sponsored by Wright Farrier Services. Thanks to both of these sponsors for continuing to support of our youth and supporting these belt buckles. Okay, and our champion dark cross drive out of class 16, we have Clayton Werchin representing Buda 4-H. Class 17, Lila Lyons representing Buda 4-H. Class 18, Miss Brooklyn Alexander representing Buda 4-H. Class 19, representing Buda 4-H, Trace Jansen. Class 20, Madison Alexander, also representing Buda 4-H. Class 21, BB Underdown, also representing Buda 4-H. And out of class 22, we have Hunter Peruka, also from Buda 4-H. Let's give these kids a big round of applause.
Let's give the dark crossbred exhibitors a big round of applause. An excellent set. Lots of quality deep in the classes, and some classes that, we really had to study and bear down on, figure out what we wanted to do. But as many as the numbers were and as good as the quality is, this is an easy decision, or as easy as any of them in terms of who's going to win. Lights out decision. Young man in the black shirt, that's the champion right there. Well, I think it gets considerably closer for reserve, and there's 4 or 5 of them that, depending on what you want to prioritize, you can justify to be reserve. The one that's going to get the second half of the ticket for me in this particular division, as they drive right out here now, I think the best looking one in terms of composed silhouette with some presence, still got enough muscle and power, and as they go right now, probably equally the best structured one, young lady in the black shirt right here is reserved. Congratulations to you.
Okay, your champion dark cross goes to Trace Jansen out of class 19. Your reserve champion comes out of class 18, Brooklyn Alexander. Congratulations. At this time, we need all champion and reserve champion breeds back to the holding pens for the grand champion drive. Our Grand Champion Market Swine buckle today is sponsored by Rex and Debbie Lyons. And our Reserve Champion Swine buckle is donated by J.P. Jansen Crop Insurance. We need our champion and reserve champion light OPBs, our champion and reserve champion dark OPB, our champion and reserve champion Duroc, our champion and reserve champion Hamp, our champion and reserve champion York, our champion and reserve champion Light Cross, and our champion and reserve champion Dark Cross. Back to the holding pen to drive for the grand champion overall of the show. Representing the light OPB division is Clayton Doyle. Representing the dark OPB division is Laramie Doyle. Representing the Duroc breed, Cooper Partain. Representing the Hampshire breed, Lila Lyons. Representing the Yorkshires, Huck Thomas. Representing the light crossbred division, Clayton Worchin. And then representing the dark crossbred division will be Trace Jansen. All right, coming into the ring now with our light OPB is Clayton Doyle from Dripping Springs 4-H. With our dark OPB, Laramie Doyle from Dripping Springs 4-H. Representing the Duroc breed, Cooper Partain from Buda 4-H. Out of the Hampshire class, Lila Lyons, Buda 4-H. Representing the Yorkshire breed is Huck Thomas from Buda 4-H. Representing the light crossbred division, Clayton Werchen, Buda 4-H. And our dark cross winner, Trace Jansen from Buda 4-H.
Again, y'all been a little quiet the whole day. Give everybody that showed in the deal a big round of applause. Good set of hogs, even better set of kids, and I'm not going to go back through and talk them. Y'all can relax for just a second. I'm not going to go back through and discuss the hogs all the way through. I thought it was a quality show, very good in terms of the top end. There are two to me that stuck out and did so, and when I saw them in their individual classes, those two will be grand and reserve. It's not easy putting on any show, but putting on a county fair may be the toughest of all, because there is no more dramatic place to show at than your county fair, and you all know it. So give all these people behind the scenes that made it happen really big round of applause. It's an exciting time for us that live in Texas. We've got all these major shows that are fixing to come to a head, and lots of late nights and lots of tired bodies are going to happen between now and the middle of March. I have been home one day since December 26th. One day. And I don't get to go home from here either. So obviously, like y'all, I'm very invested in this. And I am very passionate about it, or you wouldn't run the roads like I do. You'd be insane to if you weren't passionate about it. And I am. I think the reason that I am so passionate about it is because I know that no matter what happens in the next few minutes in this ring, or the next few months in the rings that they compete in at the Texas major shows, every single kid that has been in a show barn and been in a show ring, if they take what they learn and use that with the contacts that they make and apply it to what puts their heart and passion afire, they'll know what it's like to be a grand champion in the game of life. And so that's why I do it. I'm sure that's why all of you on the outside of the ring do it too. And I hope that you kids will listen. Not just to me, but to everybody, because they'll all tell you the same story. It's not about what happens right here. And it's not about what happens the next couple of months. It's about if you learn and you apply yourself to what really is important, you're going to be the very best individual and human being that you can be. And you can't get that anywhere else but here. So give them a nice round of applause. We'll get you a grand and reserve.
Grand champion pig goes to Trace Jansen. Grand champion Trace Jansen. That will bring Brooklyn Alexander into the ring as a reserve champion dark cross in the contention for reserve grand champion overall. But reserve grand champion goes to Huck Thomas from the Yorkshire breed. Congratulations. I think this would be a great time to put our hands together and thank Mr. Ryan Rash for sorting our swine today. He did a heck of a job, and he works with these kids very well. We appreciate it. This will be first call for senior showmanship. First call, senior showmanship. Once again, your overall grand champion out of the dark cross division goes to Trace Jansen from Buda 4-H, and your reserve grand champion goes to Huck Thomas from Buda 4-H. Congratulations, exhibitors. We appreciate y'all's work. Second call, senior showmanship. In the senior showmanship, if we have more than 15, we will have it in heats, and we will have no more than 15 to a heat. So we will pull, Mr. Rash will pull his top placers out of that 15, and we will hold them back. Then we will have a final drive for the champion showman. So this is last call for senior showmanship. Last call, senior showmanship. Our senior showmanship buckle today is sponsored by the Brandon Henry family. We appreciate your support, Mr. Henry.
As we work through these heats and showmanship, I'm going to pin some back, go through and talk to the other kids, tell them what they did well and what they need to improve on. Give them a nice round of applause.
We're now bringing the top finalists back into the ring for the final senior showmanship drive. This will be first call for intermediate showmanship. First call, intermediate showmanship. Please bring your pigs to the holding pen. This will be second call for intermediate showmanship. Second call, intermediate showmanship.
Well, these kids beat a lot of other good kids to get out here into the finals. Give them a big round of applause. Excellent job. And when showmanship is after the actual show, I'll just be real honest with you, it's going to take a disaster or something real special to change my mind, because my mind's made up. The purpose of being a good and a great showman is to give you an edge when the money's on the line and you're trying to get the banner, trying to get the sale hole. And that's where those experiences and that expertise pays off and impresses the judge, maybe give you the advantage, maybe give you the edge. But out here in this deal, after I've seen them go so many times, it's going to take a lot to change my mind. I tell you, the one that's going to win all day long, just being exceptional, knew exactly where she needed to be, how to do it, composed yet very intense, but still one that had some chill to her, could really get out here and drive good. And the thing that separates her from the rest of the pack to me is, if y'all notice towards the middle and the end, we basically had to build a wall right here because they kept coming back and you didn't give that kid coming in a chance. Every time this girl came in, she didn't need anybody to tell her. She knew, I looked at your pig, she went and she waited and she held, and then when it was time to turn it on, she did it. That is the mark of a truly great showman that knows exactly what they need to do. And it's that young lady in the black shirt right there. Congratulations, her.
Your senior showman is Brooklyn Alexander from Buda 4-H. Congratulations, Brooklyn. This will be last call for intermediate showmanship. Last call, intermediate showmanship. Our intermediate showmanship buckle is sponsored by Daryl Spillman. Intermediate showmanship buckle sponsored by Daryl Spillman. Thank you, sir. This will be first call for junior showmanship. First call, junior showmanship. Make your way to the holding pen, please. This will be second call Junior Showmanship. Second call for Junior Showmanship. We have a bracelet, a small bracelet that has been turned into the announcer stand. If you come up, if you've lost a bracelet in the, was it in the restroom, in the women's restroom, you can come over here to the announcer stand and identify it, pick it up.
We'll give the intermediates a big round of applause. A very talented group out here. Lots of depth, even though we didn't have as many numbers. All of these kids do a very competent and capable job. And to me, I think there's a handful of them that could win today. I'm sure at some point they'll all win a showmanship contest within their career. And then it really boils down to two for me. And of those two, I think one's probably been a little smoother. I think the other one's a little better in terms of positioning, maybe a little more intense. So depending on how you want to sort it out, it can go either way. But very, very good set of showmen. Young man right here is the champion. Congratulations to you.
Your intermediate show person is Laramie Doyle from Dripping Springs 4-H. Congratulations, Laramie. This will be last call for junior showmanship. Last call for junior showmanship. Our junior showmanship buckle today is sponsored by First Step School, Tina and David Owens. Thank you very much, Tina and David. We appreciate your support. This will be first call for Clover Showmanship. First call, Clover Showmanship. Bring your pigs to the holding pen, please.
Y'all can fire up once more time. Again, as we get out here in the juniors, give these kids a big round of applause. Excellent set all the way through. I'm sure they're going to be very decorated in terms of showmanship throughout their careers because they all have a fundamental knowledge of what it takes to be a great showman. But there is one that stood out for me today all throughout the show. Just thought she did a bang-up job, never missed a beat. Young lady in the sparkly shirt right there in the dark hair. She's the champion. Congratulations to you.
Your champion junior showman is Phoebe Underdown from Buda 4-H. Congratulations, Phoebe. This is second call for Clover Showmanship. Second call for Clover Showmanship. Okay, entering the ring now is our Clover Showmanship division. All of our young people. Yep. And we got a runner. Clover Showmanship. I think we got one more coming. Got one more coming. Okay. One and one more. Our Clover Showmanship buckle is sponsored by Rusty Halo Hat Company. Thank you very much for your sponsorship. We appreciate all the buckle sponsors today. If you see any of these people, please give them a big shout out and tell them thank you very much.
Well, as we get out here in the last division of Showmanship, this is tough, hard to judge. All the pigs weigh more than the kids. Give them a nice round of applause. They're doing a good job. I think you can tell that there's some that probably have had a little more ring experience than others, but they all, again, are going to have good careers because they're working hard and trying hard. The one that impressed me throughout the day, young lady in the blue right here is champion. Congratulations to her.
Your Clover Buckle winner today is Sybil Shumway. I'm sorry. Congratulations. That rounds up our swine show for 2024. We appreciate it. If you'd like pictures made, please go over to the backdrop and get those done. If you want pictures with the judge, please get over there and get with him, and he will be more than happy to accommodate you. Once again, thank you for today. Everyone have a safe trip home.